They were once the faces everyone admired, the stars who lit up our screens, took home awards, and defined entire eras of entertainment. From red carpets to sold-out box offices, these black actors stood at the peak of fame, wealth, and influence. But fame can be fragile, and in Hollywood, one bad headline or bold opinion can change everything. Today, many of these once beloved talents find themselves shut out of the very industry that once celebrated them. Their stories reveal how quickly the spotlight can fade, replaced by controversy, betrayal, or silence. Yet, behind every downfall lies a deeper truth about race, power, and resilience in show business. This is not just gossip. It's a reality check on how Hollywood treats its own. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and let's uncover what really happened to the stars Hollywood doesn't call anymore. Orlando Brown, from Disney stardom to destruction and redemption. Once hailed as one of Disney Channel's brightest young stars, Orlando Brown had it all: charm, comedic timing, and a future that seemed unstoppable. Fans adored him as Eddie Thomas in That's So Raven, where his infectious energy and humor made him a household name. But when the cameras stopped rolling, Orlando's life spiraled into chaos. After the show ended in 2007, he faced a string of arrests, from drug possession and DUI to domestic violence and burglary. His struggles with hard drugs and alcohol became public, and Hollywood quickly distanced itself from him. It wasn't just the crimes, it was the unpredictability that made studios wary. Yet, beneath the headlines, there's still a spark of the talented actor he once was. In recent interviews, Orlando has spoken about finding faith, getting clean, and rebuilding his life. Hollywood hasn't fully forgiven him, but his story isn't over yet. Stacy Dash, from clueless star to Hollywood outcast. In the 90s, Clueless made Stacy Dash a style icon, sharp, stunning, and unforgettable as Dionne Davenport. But her career took a sharp turn when she swapped acting for political commentary. As a Fox News contributor, her bold conservative opinions, including calling to end Black History Month and criticizing Obama and Beyoncé, ignited backlash. Fans felt betrayed, and the industry branded her too controversial. Even Fox suspended her after one explosive remark about the president, though she later admitted regret, saying she'd been playing a role. The damage was done. Once adored by millions, Stacy now finds herself on the fringes of an industry that rarely forgives public rebellion. Hollywood moved on, but her story remains a warning about how politics and fame can collide. Jussie Smollett, from victim to villain in Hollywood's eyes. Once beloved as Jamal Lyon on Empire, Jussie Smollett had the voice, charisma, and career every young actor dreamed of. But in 2019, that dream unraveled. Smollett claimed to be the victim of a racist, homophobic attack, a story that shocked the world. But when police discovered he staged the incident himself, the sympathy turned to outrage. Charged with filing false reports, convicted, then controversially cleared, Jussie's reputation never recovered. Empire wrote him out, and major studios kept their distance. Despite trying to rebuild through directing and indie projects, the scandal's shadow lingers. His downfall remains one of Hollywood's most shocking, a reminder that fame without truth burns fast and leaves ashes. Monique, the Oscar winner. Hollywood tried to erase. When Monique won her Oscar for Precious, she stood as proof that raw talent could conquer Hollywood, but speaking truth to power came with a price. After refusing unpaid overseas promotions, she was labeled difficult. Soon after, big names like Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels allegedly blacklisted her. Monique didn't stay silent. she exposed the underpayment of black women in comedy and sued Netflix for bias. Though she eventually reconciled with Lee Daniels and returned to work, years of exile left deep scars. Her courage redefined the meaning of standing your ground in an industry built on silence. Monique didn't lose her talent. She lost Hollywood's comfort. And maybe that's her greatest victory. Terrence Howard. The rise, the rage, and the ruin. From Hustle and Flow to the first Iron Man, Terrence Howard seemed destined for superstardom. But ego, lawsuits, and scandals turned triumph into turmoil. Accused of domestic violence and known for fiery disputes, Howard's public image soured fast. A pay dispute with Marvel cost him his role as War Machine, and he never regained that momentum. Legal battles with Fox and the IRS followed, cementing his reputation as difficult. He now performs in small theater circuits, far from the blockbuster sets that once defined him. Terrence Howard's story is a mix of brilliance and self-destruction, a reminder that talent can open doors, but pride can just as easily close them. Cuba Gooding Jr., from Show Me the Money to Show Me the Evidence. After winning an Oscar for Jerry Maguire, Cuba Gooding Jr. was Hollywood's golden boy, until accusations replaced applause. Over 20 women came forward with misconduct claims, turning his charm into controversy. Though he avoided jail through plea deals, the damage was irreversible. He admitted that fame went to his head and that he'd lost control of his image. Once seen as a symbol of optimism, Cuba became a cautionary tale about fame's darker temptations. Now taking small film roles, he's slowly rebuilding, but his name no longer guarantees respect. The man who once shouted, "Show me the money," now fights to show redemption. Gary Dordan, CSI star lost in the shadows. As Warwick Brown on CSI, Gary Dordan was cool, confident, and captivating. But after 8 seasons of success, real life caught up. Drugs, violence, and financial collapse. Arrested multiple times for possession and assault, his clean image vanished overnight. Filing for bankruptcy in 2012 marked his lowest point. Yet, Dordan has spoken openly about his recovery and the painful lessons fame taught him. He's returned to smaller films, still chasing the passion that first made him shine. His story isn't about destruction, it's about survival. Gary Dordan fell hard, but he's still standing, proof that even broken stars can find their light again. Isaiah Washington, from Grey's Anatomy glory to Hollywood exile. At one point, Isaiah Washington was at the top of his game. His role as Dr. Preston Burke on Grey's Anatomy made him one of TV's most respected actors. But in 2007, one on-set outburst changed everything. During a heated argument, he used a homophobic slur reportedly directed at co-star T.R. Knight, and the media storm that followed destroyed his image. Even after apologizing publicly, ABC fired him, and Hollywood shut its doors. For years, he couldn't find representation, claiming he was blacklisted for good. In 2014, he made a quiet comeback in the 100, proving his talent never disappeared. Still, the scandal stuck to his name like glue. Washington's story is one of redemption attempts. A brilliant actor who learned that one moment of anger can silence an entire career in a town that forgets fast. Wesley Snipes, from Blade's Edge to Behind Bars. Wesley Snipes was once the ultimate cool action hero. Blade, Demolition Man, Passenger 57. He made audiences believe that a black superhero could dominate the box office long before Marvel's modern era, but success turned sour when he stopped paying taxes for years. In 2008, he was convicted and sentenced to 3 years in prison. When he got out, Hollywood had moved on. Rumors of him being difficult on set only made things worse, especially during Blade Trinity. Snipes still tried to rise again with The Expendables 3 and Coming to America, but the spotlight never returned the same way. His story isn't just about crime. It's about pride, fall, and survival. Wesley Snipes remains a legend, but one that Hollywood treats like a ghost of its own making. Tate, the underrated king of cool. If you watched Love Jones or Menace to Society, you know Tate was once the smoothest leading man in Hollywood. His eyes, his presence, everything screamed star power. But as trends shifted, Hollywood stopped giving him lead roles, boxing him into supporting parts or typecast characters. Tate refused to play along. Instead, he focused on meaningful projects that reflected real Black experiences, even if they didn't make big money. His powerful role as Councilman Tate in Power reignited fan love, showing he never lost his touch. Lawrence isn't forgotten. He's chosen a different path, one based on integrity over fame. In an industry obsessed with quick cash, he reminds us that true artistry isn't about staying on every screen. It's about staying authentic. Keke Palmer, Hollywood's multi-talented trailblazer. From spelling bees to big screens, Keke Palmer has done it all. She first stole hearts in Akeelah and the Bee, proving that raw talent and charm could coexist. As she grew up, she broke barriers, becoming the youngest talk show host in TV history and voicing characters in hit animations like Lightyear. But behind her bright smile, Keke exposed Hollywood's double standards. When fans compared her to Zendaya, she boldly called out colorism and reminded everyone of her historic achievements: the first Black woman with a Nickelodeon show, and the first Black Cinderella on Broadway. Hollywood might overlook her at times, but she doesn't wait for anyone's approval. Through her key TV network and viral confidence, she built her own empire. Keke Palmer isn't a forgotten star. She's proof that Black women can redefine stardom on their own terms. Tisha Campbell, the sitcom queen who refused to quit for decades, Tisha Campbell made audiences laugh as Gina in Martin and later as the lively mom in My Wife and Kids. With her infectious energy and humor, she became a symbol of Black sitcom greatness. But after her peak in the early 2000s, major roles became scarce. Ageism, industry shifts, and Hollywood's limited roles for older Black women slowed her momentum, but not her spirit. Tisha reinvented herself with appearances in Empire, Uncoupled, and Act Your Age, proving she still has comedic gold. Off-screen, she's been brutally honest about financial struggles and self-healing after divorce. After 43 years in the business, she's not chasing fame. She's chasing fulfillment. Tisha Campbell's story isn't about fading. It's about evolving with grace, grit, and a laugh that never gets old. Hollywood changes faces, trends, and favorites every season. But legacy is something different. These 20 actors prove that a career isn't measured by box office numbers or awards, but by how deeply they moved us while they had the stage. Some lost everything to scandal. Others simply got forgotten. Yet, every one of them left fingerprints on the culture, stories that shaped how the world saw Black artistry. In a business obsessed with youth and perfection, their resilience is the real headline. Scandals fade, rumors die, but authenticity always survives. So before you judge who's over, remember, talent never expires. It just waits to be rediscovered. If you believe in second chances, share this video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments whose comeback you'd celebrate first. Because in Hollywood, the story isn't over until someone dares to tell it again.